Mr. Geislart here, and we're going to try to factor this quadratic. The first thing I always want to do when I want to factor anything is I want to look and see if there's a common term that can be factored out. In this case, I notice that 3 goes into each one of those terms. So what I'm going to start off by doing is writing a 3 out in front of the parentheses, and then I divide each one of these by 3, and that's what's going to go back inside the parentheses. So 3x squared divided by 3 is x squared. 18x divided by 3 is going to be plus 6x, and 24 divided by 3 is going to be plus 8. Now that I have my common term factored out, I need to look at this quadratic here and see if that will factor further. To do that, I'm going to use my diamond problem. So I take x squared times 8, and that goes on top, and I take the 6x, and that goes on bottom. So now what we need to do is find two numbers that multiply to a positive 8x squared and add to a positive 6. Since it's a positive 8x squared, that means it's either a plus and a plus, because a positive times a positive is positive, or a negative and a negative, because a negative times negative is positive. However, when I look to see what it has to add to, it has to add to a positive number. So it can't be two negatives, because that would add to a negative number. So if I start with 8, I want to list all the factors. So that'll be 1 and 8, 2 and 4. Now, I see that 2 and 4 add up to 6, so I'm going to put my 2x here and my 4x here. Then I need to make my generic rectangle. When I do that, I take this number right here, x squared, and that goes in the lower left. I take this number here, 8, that goes in the upper right. And then these two numbers go in the other two spots. Doesn't matter where you put those numbers. Now I need to figure out what my factors are going to be. So what number times what number is going to give me x squared? Well, I know that's going to be x times x. Then I say x times what number gives me 2x? Well, that's going to be 2. And I say x times what number gives me 4x? So I'm going to say 4. So we put a plus in between each one of these, and it factors into 3, because even though I factored this out right away, I can't forget about that, times x plus 4 times x plus 2, and that will be my final answer.